on the midterms, baby. I'm ready for them. Election year is just days away, and elections and campaigns, they sharpen our focus, and they reveal who and what we are willing to fight for. Election season is a special time of year. All Republicans pretend to be America first, and Liz Cheney even pretends to be from Wyoming. Liz Cheney is a cowgirl, kind of like Chris Christie is a bathing suit model. They've both put on the outfits, but something's just not right. One of my establishment-backed Republican primary opponents piously lectured that he was running against me to restore civility to Congress. Well, I am on the other side of that issue. The radical left today deserves confrontation and contempt and condemnation, not civility masquerading around like surrender. They cancel us online. They hunt us in the flesh. They've destroyed our economy, made gas, groceries, and living unaffordable. They're doing these things to your country, and you should take it very personally. Violence is everywhere because in Democrat-run cities, they've defunded the police and instead embraced the policies of hug a thug. In Joe Biden's America, the last link in a broken supply chain is a broken window in the front of a Nike store where some hood rats are engaged in snatch and grabs. They got all kind of new giveaways planned for the welfare queens, but if you want to go to work, they want to vaccine mandate you out of your job, out of the military, even off airplanes. We have New Yorkers right now being arrested for trying to order fajitas at Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood is more like going to jail if you don't get the jab. And as a Florida man, I just cannot imagine how hard it is to eat mediocre baby back ribs through a mask. Maybe that's why so many New Yorkers are moving to my beloved Florida. And we welcome them so long as they leave their Democrat registration card north of the Mason-Dixon line. There are exceptions, of course, but I've come to see that most of them want to destroy most of us. But you don't have to take it. You're here. You have agency. You have a say in this, and you have an obligation now to stand and fight for your fellow countrymen. Think of those they target. Lieutenant William Kelly, a former law enforcement officer. He was doxxed and fired for donating $25 to a legal defense fund for Kyle Rittenhouse, an innocent man. Doug Jensen was jailed because he violated parole by watching an online speech by Mike Lindell. Now, we got a lot of differences in America, but I think we should all be able to agree that you shouldn't walk free after snatch and grab robberies and then get thrown in jail because of too much My Pillow talk. One of America's greatest crime fighters is Rudy Giuliani. This guy took on the mob in New York and won. And they've stripped him of his law license. He can't even practice law in New York. And you know whose law license was just reinstated last week? The corrupt FBI lawyer who altered evidence before a secret court to try to smear and frame and delegitimize Donald Trump. That's how they treat theirs, and we see how they treat ours. The January 6 detainees have been subjected to cruel treatment and injustice. We must always stand for the principles of civil liberties in our cherished Constitution. Republican leadership tells us to stop talking about January 6th, but I don't leave our fellow patriots behind, and neither should you. By contrast, the left is okay destroying our America because they didn't think too much of her in the first place. They don't want the rest of the world to follow America, and so they say that we're racist, systemically discriminatory, evil. They worship the false prophecy of critical race theory. Imagine being so dumb that you would mock us for accepting the word of God while they accept the word of Jussie Smollett. Now, I have a plan, my friends, to take back power and to actually wield it effectively in the United States Congress for a change. I'm not here to go back to the days of Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan. This is Donald Trump's party, and I'm a Donald Trump Republican. Now, the media hates it, and the establishment fears it. But I kind of like the ring of House Speaker Donald J. Trump after these midterms. Can you imagine Nancy Pelosi's face as she has to hand that gavel to Donald Trump? Oh! That's how I pitched it to him. I said, Mr. President, you only have to be Speaker for like 20 minutes. Just take the gavel and imagine the speech you would deliver as she has to watch with that sour look on her face. We got to start treating them like they treat us. You know, if we take power, some Republicans in leadership say they may kick some Democrats off committees too. Well, if Donald Trump was Speaker, he might kick them all off committees. If we can't get Speaker Trump, we should eternally embrace the spirit of Trump. Donald Trump led a political realignment in our country, and it is rooted in sound public policy for our people. Trade policy that enriches our middle class, not the middle kingdom. Immigration policy that seals our border and deports every last one of them who's not in this country legally. Student loan policy that doesn't enrich a geriatric professorship and administrative class. Foreign policy that doesn't pay our enemies to hate us. I think they'll do it for free. Housing policy that doesn't turn the millennial and Zoomer generations into leasehold serfs. And health policy that actually makes America healthier, not more tyrannical. Seems like every time we talk about health care, they want to talk about insurance policy or lawsuit policy. We never talk about the ways to actually be healthier as Americans, and we can champion that in the political right. We are a nation of free women and men. We are not guinea pigs and lab rats for big pharma. And standing in our way is the corrupt Biden-Harris regime, and I use the word standing loosely. On most days, Joe Biden is wandering around in the Rose Garden like some sort of nursing home memory ward escapee. I think the push to remove him from Democrats would be a lot stronger if the alternative was not so obviously worse. When she answers questions, our vice president's responses sound like a fails reel for rejected beauty pageant contestants. The White House gives her busy work, and is there anything more like indicative of the Kamala Harris experience than that insincere laugh? Ha 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 ha. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard. But I'm ready to take them on for real. You know, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not lived one day under the oversight of a Republican majority, and I think we should change that. Let's see how they hold up. When Republicans retake power, every committee in Congress must be an oversight committee. Every committee gets an investigation to run. Every Biden agency gets a colonoscopy, and Hunter Biden finally gets a damn subpoena. And I am not taking Lindsey Graham's word for it anymore. I heard him every night on Sean Hannity saying, we're going to call Hunter Biden in. It's right around the corner. No. You know, China, as we speak, they are fielding hypersonic weapon systems that can travel around the globe in minutes with strike capability everywhere. That's what their best military minds are working on. And Joe Biden's top military advisor is still trying to get more in touch with his white rage. Maybe the Armed Services Committee should look into that. The Judiciary Committee should investigate why parents who show up at school board meetings because they love their kids are being labeled as domestic terrorists. And the Education Committee should investigate the Biden Center that existed at UPenn. The Biden Center is a whole lot like the Clinton Foundation, but with even more loyalty and fidelity to the Chinese Communist Party. But we have to shake things up to make this happen. Republicans must abolish seniority as an organizing principle to choose committee chairmen. The world's greatest nation cannot be governed by a gerontocracy anymore. Instead of passing leadership to the silver-haired valets for lobbyists, send in the firebrands. Make Madison Cawthorn a committee chairman. Give me Lauren Boebert as the whip of the House and let her carry her gun. Arizona's own Andy Biggs knows exactly how to solve the immigration crisis. Instead of giving illegal aliens $350,000 when they come into our country, maybe we ought to give them something of equal value when they leave. I think every illegal immigrant that we deport should get one original Hunter Biden painting. Right on their way back to Guatemala. How about sick Paul Gosar on the stolen 2020 presidential election? And there would be no greater chair of the House Budget Committee than my good friend Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, listen, this woman can budget, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding on to a penny so tight, Abraham Lincoln is screaming. But we need succession, not secession. There will be no national divorce in our America. Critical race theory will divide us no longer. We are one American family, united by one great American privilege. And just like all families, we have our drama, but we know that we have to be there for one another in times of need. This last year has been tough on many, and I'm no exception. I can assure you that. But as I'm joined here by my beautiful wife, I can tell you that at times when it's darkest, it's just before when those great rays of sunlight are about to shine through. We had to live through Jimmy Carter in order to get to Morning in America again with Ronald Reagan. And we had to get through Obama to enjoy the great prosperity of Donald Trump. And we might have to get through Joe Biden in whatever condition he's in order to get to something better still. Matter of fact, America's oldest president might come just before America's youngest. Will Charlie Kirk be old enough to run for president in 2024? One of Congress's most renowned and talented performers recently criticized the Freedom Caucus and others for using performance as a tool to rally our legions and retake power. I respectfully disagree. When did we become a movement that dogged on a good performance? The best president in America's history was a reality TV star. Reagan was an actor. I'm on a stage with a whole lot of pyrotechnics. I got so much hair product, I was worried I was going to go up in flames when those things got going. But all the world's a stage, and I'm honored to be on this one. Stagecraft is statecraft, and the oversight-first strategy that I am pitching will link the pain that our people are feeling with the failures of the American left. And so the operative question is not whether your representatives are performers. We all are. The question is, for whom? Who is the audience? Far too many of my colleagues in both parties, they perform for the elites, for the lobbyists, for the donors, for the political action committees. They perform in the empty chambers of Congress or in scripted committee exchanges, all pretending that they fight for you. But follow the money. I am proud to stand before you as the only Republican in Congress who refuses all donations from federal lobbyists and political action committees. Their money is no good. With me, I work for you. I perform for you, and I need you in the fight. We will not restore America by backslapping with Democrats over foreign beers at the Harvard Kennedy School. And I'll admit, the day may come when our movement calls for the master legislators, the skilled compromisers, the deal makers, those who reach across the aisle so hard that they enter a new, political Pilates pose. But this is not that day. We need the firebrands, and I need backup in Congress, the rambunctious type. Some say we need more fortitude, and fortitude is indeed an admirable trait. It means you can endure a lot of pain. The stiff upper lip, the British would tell us. Mitt Romney has fortitude. But we live in a world today where the left has seized unconstitutional power through mandates, driving people from their jobs, destroying the American dollar, shattering our economy, stealing elections. They openly campaign for racial reparations and bigoted policies that target white people. Let's not prove our valor by enduring pain. I'd like to start dishing it out. Less fortitude, more attitude. And to do this, we must get stronger, louder, tougher. Let's rile people up and turn them out. Let's give people a reason to trust us and believe in us again. Doing that would be the performance of a lifetime. Now, Rachel Maddow or Chris Hayes, who can even tell them apart anymore? They attacked me for an interview on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast, where Bannon and I called for 4,000 shock troops ready to man the positions in our government when voters give us the power again. What they were really shocked by is that we won't hand America over to the elites who are just fine managing our nation's decline so long as they get rich in the process. We are the ascendant force now, and that's why I'm here. So pardon me for saying so, but if I have the choice, I'm not recruiting from the ranks of finishing school and cotillion. I'm here to operationalize your outrage, not delegitimize it. So send me 4,000 shock troops from Turning Point USA, and together we will save America. It's Choose Your Fighter time. I hope you'll go to mattgaetz.com and fight with me. God bless you. Thank you all so much, and let's go get them.